I respect everybody until they earn my disrespect. Well, Sheriff Arpaio and a crew of volunteers went to Washington, and they handed out their sheriff's kits to, I guess, 50 congressmen and senators. So that's at least now 50 members inside Congress and Senate now that are aware. Now, as far as I know, Boehner is also aware. And I would like to remind these folks, and you folks, actually, that they're now bound to do something. And by that I mean, there's a little known law that they had better be aware of. And I would highly recommend that when you call your congressman and your senator, when you call Boehner's office, you remind them of this little known law. I'm going to explain it to you. Anybody, and it doesn't matter who you are, anybody who knows of treason in any way and does nothing is committing a crime. So for a while now, it seems, Boehner himself has been committing a crime. He supposedly knows, I don't know this firsthand, but supposedly he knows about the investigation. He is going to tell you that he doesn't know what that investigation contains, but what he will tell you is that he's not going to forward any kind of investigation. He's not going to let Congress investigate this. What? How can this be? Well, it's because he thinks you and I are stupid. Either that or he doesn't know about this law. Well, you're going to have to look into it. And as I said, when you call up any of your congressmen and senators about this issue, about why they're not looking into Sheriff Joe's kits that they just received, and why nothing is being done about it, you have to remind them that if they do nothing, that is breaking the law. They are helping somebody to commit treason just by doing nothing. The way I read the law, and the way a certain gentleman read the law, and he took this law to court. He wanted a judge to absolve him of being convicted of this crime, of knowing of treason, and doing nothing. Because he read Sheriff Arpaio's case, he knows that O'Bunghole is a fraud, as I do, and he wanted a judge to say, you can't be charged. The judge threw the case out. Well, seems to me that ever since O'Bunghole has taken office, and even back in Bush days, we've had a major assault on our freedoms. The Constitution was written to restrict the government and not the people. The people were to remain free, and free in all aspects of their lives. That's what the Constitution outlines. The freedoms that we are born with and are given to us not by government. We are born with them. God gave them to us, and they cannot be taken away by government. Yet, the erosion is starting to get really deep. How am I, as an average citizen, supposed to trust my government? We have the Justice Department spying on, the Associated Press, listening to, this is a crime. Freedom of the press. That's a violation. And we have strong evidence that the IRS targets us for our thoughts, for our very thoughts. The IRS. These are the people that are supposed to be taking charge of my health care? Wow. So let me see. Holder gets caught in Fast and Furious, lies to Congress, and O'Bunghole gives him an executive pass. Then Holder turns around and goes after Zimmerman for a race crime that never happened. How am I supposed to trust my government? How am I supposed to trust my government at all in any aspect when all of these scandals were in the White House? And the douchebag in charge, the asshole in chief, Mr. I don't know, has assholes like Shill O'Reilly handing him deniable or plausible. Dude, are you out of your mind? Every time you turn around, you hear Shill O'Reilly uttering those words. Deniable plausibility. All of these things happened in the White House, and O'Bunghole knew nothing. He heard about all of it on the news. That's funny, because most of the shit that he supposedly hears about on the news is only told on Fox News. Narcissistic lying puke. This son of a bitch does nothing but lie. And now he's been caught red-handed. And you people still aren't taking his head off. This son of a bitch needs to be brought up on charges. Lots and lots and lots of charges. Sending a drone to kill a 16-year-old American citizen overseas, that's a crime. That's a crime, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Unbelievable. I can't believe America is sitting back and letting some piece of shit tell them that they have to buy something. This has never, ever been done in the history of the United States. The government has never forced anybody to buy anything for any reason. Funny how our first black president can get that slipped through. Why? Well, because you don't dare say that he's wrong and a liar and a scam artist because you're a racist. Right away. You're a racist. You must be racist. The son of a bitch is a piece of shit. You people can't see this? When he stands in the White House now making his little speeches, anybody notice that the American flags are gone? Yeah. Got 2 Muslim spires and a Muslim prayer curtain hanging behind him. And you idiots still believe that this piece of shit is Christian? Holy shit. Wow, I pray, that this is the start of the downfall. I hope and I pray that these people start waking up. The fraud must be exposed. You can't impeach a fraud. Think so? He went to college as Barry Soetoro, didn't he? So when you impeach Barack Hussein Obama, that's not his name. You ever see any paperwork that says it is? Never surfaced. Never even talked about. Isn't that kind of peculiar? Because it doesn't exist. Just like that birth certificate he waved in the air was just a blank piece of paper as far as I'm concerned, because it was a fraud. Just like he is, a complete fraud. His social security number is fraudulent. His selective service card is proven fraudulent. And now this piece of shit paper that he waved in the air and told you to leave him alone from now on was proven fraudulent. Now we have people in Congress and Senate who now have this proof in hand. So as I said, ladies and gentlemen, it is our jobs now to call and let them know that we know they know. And they can no longer ignore it because they are committing a crime. by allowing a bunghole to continue with his crime. You don't seem to understand. It is no longer a birther issue. This is about fraud. This is about blatant, multifaceted fraud. It's not about a birth certificate anymore. It doesn't matter where the piece of shit was born anymore. It doesn't. He's committing fraud. Even if he was shit out in a hospital in Hawaii, doesn't matter. He committed fraud. It is the fraud that must be exposed. I don't care where he was born. That is beyond the case now. It doesn't matter. It does not matter where he was born or even if he has a birth certificate now. The one he showed us was fraudulent. The Social Security number he showed us online on his tax return that he posted online was a fraud. Selective service card, been proven. Fraud. It's a fraud issue. Now, why is he committing all of these acts of fraud? That's a good question. I got a feeling this school records that he won't release are because they're fraudulent also. Where are all the people that went to school with him? Where? There should be droves of people telling us stories about old bunghole, shouldn't there? Funny, but the only stories we hear are the ones about how he was having homosexual sex in a limousine in a hotel room and cocaine. And even somebody that lived in a neighborhood and grew up, around him says the same thing. He was a homosexual cocaine abuser who prostituted himself to old white men for drugs for sex. Pathetic. Where was the media? They were bought off. Yeah, they were bought off. You don't think the media can look the other way whenever they want or they're told to? Let's remember this. Kermit Gosnell just went to jail. If you didn't hear that name, that is because the news didn't let you hear that name. He was the asshole running a baby killing mill in Philadelphia, I believe. Maybe it was Chicago, I don't know. I don't remember rightly. But this piece of shit was snipping babies' necks with scissors to kill them after they were born alive in an abortion clinic. This should have been front page news. But because of it was part of, what the hell is that, what the hell is that program there? Where they're supposedly helping people out to have babies. This is a baby killing mill, these people. It's disgusting. Why didn't you hear about it? There should have been front page news on every newspaper. This son of a bitch was killing babies with scissors by inserting them in the neck and snipping their spinal cords. Why didn't you hear about it? You don't think the news is controlled? Better think again, people. Make your calls. Anybody who has seen the evidence of a bunghole's fraud is now committing a crime by doing nothing. And it is our job to make them do something. It is up to them to now get their colleagues to open up this investigation. It is up to us to tell Boehner that he is committing a crime by not investigating this fraud, the biggest case of fraud ever perpetrated in the United States or the world. It's time we do something, ladies and gentlemen. Don't just make one phone call a day. We got to turn the heat up now. Do you trust your government? Can you trust your government? Why would you trust your government? This is the textbook definition of tyranny. And it is up to you and I to put a stop to it. God bless America. Good luck to us all, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're going to need it.